Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Let me take the picture story here. So residents of Paiporta, the worst hit town in Spain's devastating floods, unleashed anger at King Felipe VI on Sunday, shouting questions, underscoring their heartbreak. How many have died? Because there was conflict. I watched the news over the weekend, and many people were complaining that the governments were not being truthful on the real amount of victims and the number of victims they had. So the torrential rains on Tuesday caused Spain's worst disaster in decades. Interestingly, also the Queen, Queen Letizia, and the other politicians visited the same area, the Valencia region. About 25,000 people were met with jeers, shouting of murderers, mudslinging, and all sorts. The residents of Paiporta where officials say over 70 people died, but there were still quite a number unknown, and the figures kept conflicting. So the politicians were there, and obviously they were met with also with jeers of murderers, calling them names. They had to rush off all the officials back into the motorcade because they couldn't confront the people, because according to the people, they came 5 days late. Something struck, and they came 5 days after, and obviously
they couldn't get access to the place too.
Yeah, well, they said that the devastation struck was quite bad.
It was really bad.
And people were really, lots of people have died. So far, I'm not sure the numbers, but it's looking like about 217.
Yes. So their inspection came 5 days late, or the rescue came 5 days late?
The inspection came 5 days. Rescue obviously was immediate. It's just that the leaders didn't show up until 5 days after.
Okay, so I have the father's story in the Punch, who sat for JAM for his daughter.
Please.
So this is a professor. His name is Professor Jide Josiah Jesus, and he's been sentenced to 6 months in prison for impersonating. He did not impersonate his daughter. He impersonated what he called an NGO inspection body. He had been at a JAM center. The school was mentioned here, and when he was confronted, according to the PRO of JAM, he insisted that he was a representative of a non-governmental body to oversee examinations.
Okay.
And so the JAM official on site, Oga, non-governmental in JAM Center, what is this about?
What is the correlation?
He insisted, he tried to cover up, but later his deception was uncovered because the JAM official persisted. And he said, well, I'm not here for that. I came to assist my daughter in writing an exam. So his admittance and everything. Since 2019, he's been in court, and the court finally sentenced him to 6 months in prison.
Oh, wow.
Just as you mentioned. He hasn't served, though.
He just
was not in detention.
I have the one for Kano begins registration of foreigners. And this one is saying the Kano state government on Sunday constituted a committee for the comprehensive verification and registration of all foreigners resident in the state. The committee of experts on expatriates is under the office of the Secretary of the state government. The committee has officially launched a comprehensive verification and registration exercise targeting all expatriates and their businesses operating within Kano state. So this move is to curb insecurity in the state located in the northwest, which is the major center for commerce, culture, and industry in the region. And the media officer in the committee, Yikasai, also via the press, also said that the initiative was designed majorly to sanitize and secure the business environment. He also added that development would ensure expatriates abide by the necessary regulations and standards in the states. So we hope that maybe, if it pulls through and they register everybody, probably other states can also take a hint from that.
Yeah, the ones that are doing elections, they should all sort of foreigners from different countries come and start voting in Nigeria. So there are allegations are so we heard that we can't confirm that, but the point is that it's important for us to know who are Nigerians and who are non-Nigerians.
Non-Nigerians amongst them.
Story
yes, I do have a story also from Kano State. The Kano State governor, as well as the Arewa consultative forums, have demanded there be a immediate release of the minors that are facing trial for treason in the Abuja Federal High Court. So the IGP, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetoko, had on Friday arraigned 76 end bad governance protesters. Those that protested between 1st of August to 10th of August 2024. And during the arraignment, there were pictures of malnourished-looking minors. Out of the 76 protesters that were arraigned in 2 batches, 32 of them were children. The first batch, there were 10 counts bordering on treason, intent to destabilize Nigeria, inciting mutiny by calling on military to take over from the president. And they pled not guilty, and they were granted a 10 million naira bail, which, according to the governor, is not going to be feasible for them to raise that money. And He said his attention had been drawn to the children, teenagers, many of them believed to be from Kano, that were brought to court on Friday, and he's asking that the Commissioner of Justice of the state processes their release immediately. There are other people that are being detained as well. All of them are saying if they are children, they should be released. I think that many people have complained about the fact that these children are just pawns in the scheme of the greater damage that was done. We all saw the damage was carried out by some children, but if the children are minors, they should be put into a rehabilitation process to help them get better understanding, not put in detention where they are not getting enough food. There was visible devastation of hunger and malnourishment of the children that are in detention, and that should be corrected. If you cannot feed them in detention, then release them or put them in a facility where they can be well taken care of. Okay,
let's move on to Vanguard. Why exporters are struggling since investigation. #EndBad governance protest. ACF, Nigerian Human Rights Commission, CISLAC and others slam police over trial of minors. Presidency, Atiku tango over economy. Owando announces 60.3 billion profit after tax for FYE 2023. Withheld pay, normalcy returns to varsities as workers suspend strike. AFCON 2025 qualifier, Libya begins mass arrest of Nigerians after CAF verdict. NGE conference, Shetima, Diri, others lead discussion on economy and security. An international firm hires depot to blend substandard petrol in Nigeria. Asagba stool, fierce legal battle looms. Okay.
Okay, so I have the Sano and Nasu story. So both bodies in a joint action committee had issued a strike on Monday, the 28th, a warning strike of October, 28th of October. And they went on this strike, which they suddenly called off. And they said it takes effect tomorrow, Tuesday, the 5th of November. That's the calling off of the strike, because they didn't state particularly what the terms were. But the National Association of Technical Universities or Technical Schools, I'm trying to get the full details, had their president, that's the President Ibeji Wokoma, insisting that they would continue. The National Association of Academic Technologists said that they will continue with the strike and protest and picketing of Federal Ministry of Finance until 50% of the 5 months withheld salaries are not paid. So they also added that a month has been paid of the 3 months for which they went on protest by the federal government, who had agreed with them to pay 50%. But Sano and Nasu, till they did not give terms of why they're calling off the strike, whether temporarily or permanently, and whether they've spoken with their team members across the country on why they're calling off the strike. But it's relief to the federal university students, at least they can go back to school. I hope they don't have to go back home again because
after that. Okay. I have the one of the First Lady NSA to lead national prayers for Nigeria's economic turnaround. And the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, and National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu will spearhead the national prayer session aimed at addressing Nigeria's numerous challenges. And the initiative, coordinated with Christians and Muslim religious leaders, seeks divine intervention for the country's social, economic, and security issues under the theme Seeking the Intervention of God in Nigeria's Affair. The Director, DG of National Prayer Forum, Afoloro Nekon, announced the event in Abuja, and he also said that this collective interfaith gathering is going to signify the hope of fostering resilience among citizens in inspiring leaders to find lasting solutions for the nation's stability. So we hope that God will be available.
Okay, moving on now to the Nigerian Tribune. Reforms, what I would have done differently, says Atiku. Police arrest 113 Chinese, Malaysians, 17 Nigerians for cybercrime hacking. I'm sure Nima has that story. How U.S. presidential election may be decided. Lagos Calabar Coastal Road compensation to affected property owners hit 18 billion naira. Nigeria's productivity crisis deepens as per capita income drops to $877. Polaris Bank clinches Best Mobile App Award at Digital Jurist Awards 2024. Cost of goods may rise as bank system migration cripples cargo clearance at seaport. Okay.
So that's the story I have, the fact that there's a challenge with the banking system, and the ripple effect of that challenge is going to be affecting many people, obviously. They say many cargoes are currently trapped in Apapa. and tin can pots following the persistent disruption in the online services of some commercial banks due to the upgrade of their electronic banking portal. Many people have found this to be very difficult for their businesses, but the Nigerian Tribune got information from the national president of the African Association of Professional Freight Forwarders Logistics of Nigeria, Mr. Frank, and he lamented that many jobs are stuck because the moment an agent tries to make payments and he cannot move the job from another bank to another one because the bank, he mentioned the bank, because the bank network is bad. I'm not mentioning the bank. Then he said that for you to begin the clearance process, the transaction has to go through the bank, and then you have to pay your custom duties, and the banking app platform they use for this payment is not working. So you are now going to pay demurrage, which would impact on the cost of goods. So the cost of goods that are going to be brought into the country now will cost more money for Nigerians than what it actually should cost. Not because it's more expensive, not because of dollar, but because of banking challenges and the fact that they are unable to make payments. So I don't know if any concession can be made for this product, because I know that last week we took story of how the port authorities have to now stop products from even, containers from being dropped because there's a huge backlog of demurrage that needs to be paid and clearing that needs to take place, and it will impact the product. So government also needs to make a bit of concession, because we know that this is beyond the control of the agents. It is the banks and the platform that is making them unable to make these payments.
Talking about banks, Polaris Bank just played into my hands. Polaris Bank's Polaris Bank won an award. I'm even wearing their color today, purple. Polaris Bank's commitment to digital innovation and excellence has once again been recognized, as the bank was awarded the prestigious Best Mobile App for its renowned digital banking platform, Volte, at the Digital Jurist Awards held October 31st in Ateko Hotel. The honor comes less than a week after Polaris Bank was named Nigeria's Digital Bank of the Year. Okay, I have said what the paper said. Me, as a Polaris Bank user, I have not been able to use my Volte since last year, December, for my bank, for my company. I have chats back and forth with my bank manager. They be apologizing, so they have a system down, there's a problem here, and we've been going back and forth. I have lost many transactions. I've threatened to open a new bank. I have begged them. They've tried to solve my problem and give me an alternate app to use. So I'm like, you're winning an award. How? But I don't know. Let me just, this is my own personal experience. But just saying that congratulations to being the best digital app, but me as a customer,
I've not enjoyed
any benefit of your award.
Okay, so according to the first PRO of the police, Olumiwa Adejobi, the police conducted what they called a strategic operation around the next cash and carry area in Jabi in Abuja, and they arrested suspects who they claim were using computers and other sophisticated devices to facilitate criminal activities. Among these people, 130 suspects. 113, that's 130 minus 113. The 130 are foreign nationals, majorly Chinese and Malaysian origin.
What?
Fraud,
cybercrime.
If you see the beauty, they use coaster pack there, coaster full, another coaster come.
Of non-Nigerians?
Yes, in Nigeria. And Nigerians, of course, were involved. The foreigners were 87 males and 26 female.
Wow.
And Nigerians, 17 Nigerians were with them, 4 Nigerian male and 13 females. It can be their girlfriend, because Nigerians like money, those with guests. They might not be. But
they will now say that Nigerians are carrying out cybercrime.
Now, when the VPN shows location to Nigeria, Nigeria is a fraudulent country. When I say it on the show that these people are more fraudulent than you think, Nigerians will be arguing, but no problem. Because somebody was saying in the UK that why will you say that Britain and America, what do you know? I got arrested. It's my opinion, and I'll state it to my full chest.
I gave you your time. Your time has finished. I gave you time
to. I not check clock today. Sorry.
You done.
Yes, you done.
Let's go.
They have arrested them.
When we come back,
them.
We're going to hot topic of today. Stay with us. We'll be right back. I don't know why you hate Chinese so much.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.